All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to talk about the Steelers quarterback competition. We'll give you an update. Just some things that Mike Tomlin said. I know we haven't really talked about we have talked about the Steelers. I know I've talked about the competition a few times, but just some recent comments on that. So, Mike Tomlin, in the spring, proclaimed Wilson as being in pole position. Now, since then, Tomlin has said nothing has changed when asked if Wilson still held the upper hand in the battle with Fields. He said very carefully, you think I'm actually going to back myself into a corner so you guys are going to ask me daily about the rep allocations? No way. I've been on the job too long for that. He said there's a lot of interesting things about him in terms of his appetite for work. That's really attractive. He's talking about Russ, and that's actually it. That's all. That's all Mike Tomlin said in that. So Russell Wilson still has a leg up on Justin Fields, I guess. It's right now. It's his job to lose, and it's one of those things where, I think Russell Wilson's going to get, a little bit of a runway to, show that he deserves to be the starting quarterback. And then if he starts to struggle, Justin Fields could end up replacing him, which would not shock me. And again, got to give props to the Steelers front office for being able to, get Russell Wilson for the price that they got him at, because the Broncos are paying most of his salary this year. And they didn't really have to give up a lot to get Justin Fields. Now, I've said this too. I'm curious as to what's going to happen after this year. Now, if both guys don't perform, then I don't know what the Steelers are going to do. But, if one of these guys shows that, hey, they could still win, they could win games for you. Well, I'm saying still, like Russell Wilson's, 35. Justin Fields still, has a chance to prove himself in the right system. If one of these guys shows that they can get the job done, then the Steelers can move forward with them. Unless they want to keep both. I mean, Justin Fields wants to start. Russell Wilson wants to start. But I don't know how many more opportunities Russell Wilson's going to get. Justin Fields, like I said, he could still get opportunities elsewhere. Russell Wilson, this could be it. Because it didn't end well in Denver, even though he's actually coming off of a decent year. But you're a few years removed from, playing some elite level ball in Seattle. And I saw a TikTok of the 2016 matchup between the Seahawks and the Patriots. I know, again, it was 2016. It's 8 years ago, but still, I mean, that was a different Russ, man. I don't know if you're getting that Russ. He's throwing to, Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse and remember C.J. Procise? Yeah, that was and that was the regular season matchup against the Patriots. That was the first time they matched up since Super Bowl 49, and the Seahawks won that game. That was when the Patriots were going down the field and they got into the red zone, and there was no flag on the when Cam Chancellor and Gronkowski were 1-on-1, and people were calling for a flag, and the Patriots didn't get it, and the Seahawks won that game. Yeah, but that was a fun year of football too. 2016. Yeah, a very long time ago though. But yeah, this is it for Russell Wilson though. If he doesn't perform with the Steelers, I don't know who else is going to give him a chance. I mean, maybe another team gives him a chance if they're desperate. But I mean, it's not even like Russ played that bad for the Broncos. He was not bad. But people point to, well, he can't see the middle of the field and he's checking down constantly. Yeah, there's more to just the numbers. I get it. But, the Broncos at one point, they had a chance to maybe make a run, and it looked like maybe they were going to make the playoffs. But That just ended up not happening. They lost to the Lions. Well, the Lions really beat them up in that game, and I'm forgetting what other games they lost. Trying to think. There was that game, and then they lost to the Patriots on Christmas Eve, which I took the Patriots in that game in the spread pool. That was kind of a no-brainer in my opinion, but I'm forgetting who else. I'm missing another team that they lost to. But anyways, I think of the Lions on that Saturday night. They lost that. They also lost to the Texans too. In Houston, that was a close game. They had a chance to win that game, but Russell Wilson threw another interception. He had three picks in that game. But yeah, it was once they started playing these better teams like the Texans and the Lions, they kind of just showed you who they were. Again, they're just an average team, and they ended up finishing 8-9, and Russell Wilson got benched. So, but for me, who gives them the best chance to win? It's I don't know. I gotta go with Russ. I think Russell Wilson gives them the best chance to win over Fields. I do. And it's not really saying that much. I don't really think the gap is that wide between these two guys. But if it was me, I'm leaning towards Russ right now. More experienced. Again, and Justin Fields, when he came back from injury last year, played better. But I don't know. I think he still needs. I think he needs to sit behind Russ for a little bit, and then when he has an opportunity, then we'll see. But I think he should sit behind Russ and learn from him if he can. And again, when his opportunity comes, then we'll see what he can do. But right now, I'm leaning towards Russ, giving the Steelers the best opportunity to win. And how is Russell Wilson going to be with the Steelers? Pass catchers, and you got the running game. They put an emphasis on the offensive line. You got that running game with Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris. You got George Pickens, who's looking for some stability at the quarterback position finally. And then you don't know what you're going to get out of the other receivers. You got Calvin Austin. They drafted Roman Wilson, Van Jefferson, Quez Watkins. You got Pat Freiermuth, who I think is a good tight end. But who's going to be the other receivers that step up in this offense? Because they traded Deontay Johnson. Now, that with the Steelers, you're backed by a very good defense that could score points on their own. Like T.J.Watt could get a strip sack for a touchdown. Minkah Fitzpatrick can return one to the house. This defense could score points on their own. So that's one thing that's going to help out either of these quarterbacks is you got a defense that can score points on their own. Or just get turnovers and put you in good position. Because this Steelers defense is going to be good once again. They added Patrick Queen. They got Dante Jackson in the Deontay Johnson trade. And like I said, you got Minkah Fitzpatrick, you got Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward, and of course, T.J.Watt, who is the best defensive player in football. It's between him and Myles Garrett. And then Micah Parsons, who was not very happy with his ranking of him being third. But yeah, you're third, but you're behind Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt. It's not like, you're behind guys that don't deserve it. Those are the top three pass rushers in the NFL, are those three. But yeah, the Steelers' defense is going to be very good this year. So, we could sit here and say, yeah, this team probably, might finish in last place. But they're not an easy game. They're not an easy team to go up against. Now, there are times, and we saw it last year, where, they lost to the Cardinals and they lost to the Patriots. Yeah, the Steelers have a habit of playing down to their competition. We've seen this for years. The one game that comes to mind, and actually there's two games that come to mind, is Mike Glennon winning against them when he was with the Bucks back in 2014. And I'll give you another one, even though they had a very good defense that year. It was the playoff game against the Jaguars. Again, that was a good team. That was a very good defense. But you had Blake Bortles carving you up, and that Jaguars team put up 45 points against you at home. I mean, there's more games you could go back and, from like the last 15 years, you can go back and point out many different games. I mean, there was the year that what was it, the year after? Right? Yeah, it was 2018. The Steelers played down to the Jaguars when they were in a free fall. I mean, the Steelers ended up winning the game, but the Steelers do have a habit of playing down to their competition. Oh, here's another game I could think of. When Aaron Rodgers was hurt, Brett Hundley and the Packers in Pittsburgh. It came down to Antonio Brown making a great catch along the sideline, Boswell kicking a game-winning field goal. And that was without Aaron Rodgers. The Packers' offense was not good with Brett Hundley. That's another game you could point to. Steelers playing down to their competition. But when they actually focus and they play how they're supposed to, they could beat anybody. Well, I'm talking about the Killer Bees era. With this Steelers team, I mean, we did see them playing down to their competition last year, but also because their quarterbacks were not good. Like Mitchell Trubisky was awful when he took over for Kenny Pickett. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. And like I said, I think Russ is going to end up starting, and then if the Steelers are 2-5 or something, then maybe they go to Fields. Or maybe they go sooner than that if the Steelers struggle out of the gate. Who knows? But it's going to be this is one of the things to keep an eye on is that competition. So, but let me know what you guys think though. Who do you think should be the starter? Let me know in the comments, and that is all the time that we have for today. I appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other shows as well. Look, this is a football show, but the team that you see taking over my two walls back there, I'm really losing patience. I'm getting really frustrated with what I saw. The Mets really beat up on the Yankees last night. Okay, and they swept the Subway Series. So make sure to get Sam's thoughts on that because I'm sure he'll talk about it today. But I'm very upset. I'm not happy. But yeah, make sure to check out all the other shows. Like I said, get Sam's perspective on the Subway Series, and everybody else's shows as well. Give the other shows some love, like I always say. So yeah, with that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And until then, I'm Kenneth Gruenfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.